It's 6 o'clock.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. We're going to get started with mailbag. I kind of can't avoid it. It's right in front of me. In the chat, Random FPV, FPV Hawk, Lord FPV, OB Squads, J Drones, Random, Weirdo with a Skateboard, Drone Pilot, FPV Hawk again, Drone Pilot, FPV Hawk, Don Lads, Schnoids is here, Random is here, Carlos Roberto, Super Deluxe, what's up, brother? FPV Hawk again. Crisp Taters in the house. The crispiest potatoes in all of FPV. Carpath FPV is here. Doc is here. Ken Hill is in the house. License to Drive. Mr. Huggy and Freelojo. If I missed you, blame YouTube. Thanks for coming. Let's just get into it. Let's start doing things. Move this over here, get this going. So, one of my very few Black Friday orders this year was with Beta FPV. They just had a bunch of stuff that I was really wanting to get involved in the Tiny Whoop mix here. So I spent a little bit of money on there. It's one of the few orders I did, but it finally showed up. USPS is a hot mess, although I think this... Wait, no, this came UPS. Okay, so we can't blame USPS for this one. This was like $20. This is the new Beta FPV light transmitter that's not white anymore. Dude, for like $20 or whatever this is, seems pretty damn good. I'm kind of shocked. I sort of got it as like just have an extra, like it's just a really good idea to have an extra radio. But I'm hoping, gotta put some foam inside of it. I'm hoping that that it's good enough that this can be like a Gorilla Whoop transmitter, and I can go to like the mall and shit, like Target. Fucking, stores, fly little tiny whoops around with the Insta360 Go on them. Yeah. If it works, it'll be great. I know we've had, I forget who it was, somebody in here has not had any luck with their light radio, so that's why I say that. But should be good. I've had really good luck with Beta FPV stuff, so yeah. I can't wait to screw around with this. I am a fan. I was worried it was going to be a little, I don't know. I was worried it was going to like not fit my hands or I wouldn't be able to pinch. But no. Those were unwarranted concerns. Meteor 75 frame, Beta 75X frame V2. So these are the two like recent 75 motor-to-motor frames. Is that what the 75 refers to? Yeah. Right? Yeah. In the so I think that the Newbie Drone Cockroach 75 frames, I think those are the ones to have, but I had a weird jello issue in when I used that rig at GMG Performance. I looked back at the footage and I realized that the jello, like yesterday or the day before, I finally realized that there was no jello on the first battery, and then there was a crash, and then that's when the jello started. So yeah, I don't know. My hunch is still that the Newbie Drone Cockroach 75 is the one, mainly because it has a carbon fiber X plate, which is just amazing, and I absolutely love that. But again, I try to test as many things that are available, and when those things that are available cost like $3, I'm totally gonna snag them and test them. Just kind of giving a quick bend test here. These seem pretty damn sturdy. I'm actually kind of surprised at how solid these feel. They definitely do flex. All right, like for sure. But they're fully made out of plastic, and okay, so this one definitely flexes more. This one being the 75X V2. This one, yeah, for whatever reason, it's got a little bit more flex, but it still doesn't strike me as being so flimsy that it would cause any issues. So yeah, these have different, probably easier for you to see this one, different standoff designs. Here, you can probably see it against the shirt. Yeah, there you go. This is the first time I've seen the duct standoffs be at an angle like that. That's kind of cool. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. The big difference between these two frames is the battery bay. Wait, no, I'll hold them down here again. This Meteor frame is designed for 1S batteries. See it in there? And then this guy is designed for fatter 2S or even 3S batteries, of which I should have one. Yeah! So this is a 3S. In order to fit this, what I think you have to do, yeah, you have to cut. Oh, okay. So no, this one doesn't. This is not for 3S. Okay, that's good to know. This is for 2S only. 1S or 2S. Obviously, you can always put a smaller battery in there and then just throw some foam around it. So this is a Talon 450 2S, and this would probably fit if I really rammed it in there. That's what she said. I think this is actually a little bit too big. What's this one? This is a 350 2S. This'll go. Or not. Yeah, well, there it goes. So yeah, 2S on the 75 V2, 1S on the Meteor 75 frame. Yeah, they seem like really good little frames. If for whatever reason you don't want to do the Newbie Drone frame, these seem like winners to me. I will get them into the rotation of testing shit that I've sort of had going. Cool. I like mailbag because as I do mailbag, I get organized. And I have to stay organized around here or my brain will betray me and try to attack me. Schnoids with a $5 super chat for the Naked GoPro Fund. Let's get it updated. I just clicked something that broke it. There, nope, there it goes. And 30 out of 207. Thank you, Schnoids. All right. I got a bunch of what did I get here? Yeah, I thought that these were. I didn't realize that these were just GemFan props. On their website, they had these 4-blade 2020 props, 2-inch, thus 2020. Not the year. 20. These are 2020 props, right? 2 inches, 20 pitch. I didn't need to order these. This is a mistake. Hey, these will be a giveaway because yeah, I have a bunch of the GemFan 2020s now, so I don't really need these. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a giveaway for those on the stream tomorrow, which if you didn't know, now you're about to know. Tomorrow at either 4 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Eastern. I haven't totally decided yet. I'm going to do the 12 hours of Christmas stream. I told you guys I would do a 24-hour stream before the end of the year. I just can't do it. So hopefully 12 hours is enough. If it's not, that sucks. Random says, tomorrow is Christmas here. Damn right. Are you saying because I'm going to do that stream? If so. These are 2S Whoop Cable Pig. Why did I get so many of these? What the hell? I'm assuming that I thought... I don't know what I was thinking. I got apparently 16 of these. In addition to the one that's open on the desk. So, we're definitely doing some giveaways with these. What happened? I mean, they were probably only $1 or $2, but strange. Each one of these little bags came with 4 of them. I don't know why. I don't know why they would sell so many, but here is my question. They are rolled pin. Okay, so the rolled pin, I guess that's not as big of a deal because it's 2S, right? But I still don't love that they're rolled pin. Although I have heard a justification for the rolled pin over the solid pins, which is that the rolled pin connectors don't put as much stress on the battery, the batteries themselves, the connectors in the batteries. So your battery connectors will last longer with these rolled pin PH 2.0s, but you'll lose a little bit. There's a little bit more resistance. So it's not all doom and gloom, I guess. In the box they go. What? No, there's 5. There's 5 per bag. That's ridiculous. I've got enough of them forever, though. BT 2.0 pigtails. I have no idea why I bought these. Maybe Oh. Okay. That's why I bought them. Because they're BT 2.0 duals. So that's interesting. I have this thing where like if I'm doing an order, especially an order where I have to pay shipping, my brain is just like, yeah. If you're gonna pay shipping, you gotta. I guess I gotta get to like the actual point, right? My brain is just like, no, order a million things so that the shipping costs, gets spread out. What's this? Okay. I don't like this, but these motors are 08028s. Well, 080 which I don't like it. Just say it's an 0803, even if it's not, but it's fine. Thought process on these. It's a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier than an 0802. And so on the 65 millimeter, these I tried 0803s on a 75 Whoop, and I hated them. It just wasn't enough stator width for the bigger propeller. So I wonder on a 65 if there'd be any benefit to these. The only thing that kind of got me about these is that they're only 12,000 kV. So I'm gonna have to run these on 2S, and at that point it's not really a fair comparison anymore. But I'm very curious. I would like to build just a clone of this rig, because so far this has been the best way to carry an Insta360 go around with total safety and like in an impossibly small size where you can shoot stupidly small little gaps. So yeah, I've been wanting a second identical one of these. It kind of makes sense to build it 2S, and yeah, I'm interested in what a little bit of extra stator height will do on these 65 millimeter props. I think that I don't think it'll have a real advantage. But I hope it does. That's why we have to test this shit, because there are just too many variables to say, like, this is the perfect thing, that just run this. You really just have to test everything, unfortunately. So yeah, 080, basically 0803s. These are going to have an interesting life. Next, we've got 1102 18,000 kV. 1102s, I think the only 1102s available are these and the Happy models. And I have the Happy models on here already, which are 1102 19,000 kV. And I've been running these on 1S, and they're really, really good. So these guys are what? 1102 18,000 kV. My hunch is going to be that they're not. I don't know. We'll see. I wish they were 20,000 kV. I wish that I'd gone up in kV with these rather than down. But I can only buy what's available to me. What I should say is, I think these are the only other 1102s. Z, I'm just going to call you Z so I don't butcher your last name. Z mentioned that GEP-RC makes 1102s, but I believe that the GEP-RC 1102s are a 4-screw mount base rather than a 3-screw mount base. And the Cockroach 75 frame is 3-screw, 3-hole only. What I like about these Betaflight frames is they're 3 or 4. They have the setup where they can take 3-hole or 4-hole. Z says you can get both, though. So it looks like I need to find... Because I really think that 0802s are definitely not the size for a 75 millimeter whoop. And I would like to test all of the 1102 options as high as possible, Z. Maybe that's why. There was something... I saw the GEP-RC 1102s, and there was a reason that I didn't get them. Now that you mentioned KV, I think that was the deal. I think they were too low of a KV, and you had to run them on 2 or 3S. Yeah, these two are high enough in KV at 19,000 and 18,000 where they work on 1S. And the theory behind staying 1S is just to absolutely keep the weight as low as possible with a 450 mAh. So it's a 450 mAh 1S battery performs really well. Like when you go below 450 mAh on any battery, the performance really struggles. So a 450 mAh or north of this 1S performs better than like a 250 mAh 2S or like a 300 mAh 2S, and it's a little bit lighter, right? You always keep in mind like a 600 mAh 1S is the same total amount of juice as a 300 mAh 2S. The fact that there's two cells, the MAH rating is each individual cell. So to keep that going, 600 mAh 1S is the same as 300 mAh 2S is the same as 150 mAh 4S. Right? Always, that's not something that everybody knows, but you should. It's important to understand how that breaks down. The actual term is amp hours. Those batteries all have the same amount of amp hours. The word juice everybody understands, so I use the word juice. as a communications graduate, one of the things that they teach you is one of the only things that I got out of being a comm major, if I'm totally honest with you guys, is that jargon is really bad, and like if you can say a word that might not be as fancy sounding, but will get the point across better, say the word that gets the point across better. Just saying. All right, so that'll be cool. Last but not least, we've got some BT 2.0 260 mAh 30C tiny whoop batteries. Now I get it. I see what I did there. That's why I got these. These 260 mAh. I remember why I did this. Okay. So this is like a box of 10, I think, of these 260 mAh batteries. This was crazy cheap, and my assumption was that these batteries are very light, and we're going to test that right now. I'm going to weigh all of the tiny whoop batteries that I've got here, so that we can get some idea of, yeah. That's what I said, Dan, isn't it? Same watt hours. I mean, if that's not what I said, that's what I thought that I said. We've got a Newbie Drone Gold 300. Okay, cool. So, here we go. This is going to be a time code for sure. Betaflight BT 2.0 260 mAh is... I'm going to compare that to the Nitro Nectar. 7.2 grams for the Betaflight. Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar Gold, Black Edition, whatever. Damn it. 7.1 grams. Really? Up until just now, the Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar Gold batteries across the board have been a little bit heavier than everybody else's batteries. But when you fly them, you go, oh my fucking god, this is the best tiny whoop battery I've ever flown by a long margin. Well, shit. The 300 mAh version is 8.2 grams. GNB 300 mAh with the little lead on it. 7.6 grams. The RDQ 300 mAh with the little lead on it. RDQ's batteries are made by GNB. 7.8 grams. The RDQ GNB 300 without the pigtail. 7.5 grams. The Talon FAF 250 mAh. 6.7. That's the same battery. This is Ovonic 450. 11.7, 11.8, call it. And then we've got RDQ GNB 525 1S with the little lead, 13.8. And Talon FAF 500 mAh with the lead, 14.2 grams. I have all of these battery weights over on the Patreon page, believe it or not. There's a Patreon post every once in a while when I do this, when I'm not streaming. As I weigh each one, I just take a picture with my phone, because that covers both the weight and the label. And I put it up on the Patreon page to save you guys, your sanity, because that's what it's all about. I'm here for your sanity. Talon NFG 450 with the little lead on it, 12.5. So there you go. That's all of the Tiny Whoop batteries that I've amassed in the last, I don't know, year or so that I've been screwing around and with this, try to figure out how to carry a Insta360 Go as lightly and safely as possible project. I don't know. What do you call that? Yeah, I don't think I have any. I think that's all the batteries that I have, right? No, wait. There's also an Emax 450. I don't really like these all that much, but Emax 450, 13.1 grams. And now, yeah, that's all the batteries that I have for weights for you guys. There you go. Shit, these are heavy. Well, if nothing else, this will be a cool test of BT 2.0 versus if two of these Betaflight 260s with the BT 2.0 outperform the Nitro Nectar, two of the Nitro Nectar Gold 250s, that'll be pretty damning on PH 2.0, right? So this will be an interesting test. Look at these little. What am I gonna do with these? These little guys. My fingers are safe. Why do you guys come here? This is silly. That's the end of mailbag. That's all I have the guts to play. I'm gonna figure something cool to do with these. Just you watch. Just you watch. Okay. So, Emuflight. What do you want from me? You want me to do Emuflight? I'll do Emuflight. I won't be happy about it. Actually, maybe I'll be happy. I'm hoping that I'm happy about it. The reason for me finally wanting to try Emuflight today is that I have a couple rigs here that just refuse to, even with the filtering turned, even with the sliders turned all the way down, which turns the amount of filtering all the way up in Betaflight with RPM filters, there's still, these couple rigs are still no good. And my hunch is that it's a frame resonance issue, but I don't want to just give up. And a couple people that I trust, one of which is Dalton, who made the little floaters and some other really cool products, swear up and down that Emuflight handles the vibrations that micros and specifically Tiny Whoops produce better than Betaflight. So let's find out. First, with each one of these rigs, I'm going to try to remember to first do a control flight. So let's just jump right into that. I just dumped out all the batteries on the desk here, and I'm going to leave my checker out. So the rigs in question are right here. Full Speed RC Tiny Pusher, R3D Shifters Muon, which has the RunCam split V3 Lite HD camera in it. And then this is the R3D Shifters 65 V2 Pusher. which is on 2S, which you can see here by this fancy little pigtail. All three of these guys, the tiny pusher, I just recently put it onto these newbie drone 1202s, and I think the KV is a little bit too high. It wasn't this bad on the motors it came with, which were 1103 8000s. I only have it on Betaflight 4.1, so I don't have motor scaling. I think this is a motor scaling issue. So this rig, we're actually going to take from 4.1, we're going to put it on to 4.2, we're going to turn the motor scaling on, and we're going to see if that makes things any better first. But these two guys are both already on Betaflight 4.2 with RPM filters, with the amount of filtering turned all the way up, and they're just not behaving. They are unable to handle the amount of vibrations that are coming into the flight controller. Even with the filtering, even with the PID loop kind of turned down. Although I didn't cripple the tune with. Oh, it's in the CLI. Good call, FPV Hawk. That's right. Good fucking call. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. What was I just saying? Let's just do it. Joshua Bodwell is here. What's up, you imposter, you? In the chat, we've got lots of people tagging me. I forgot to do my my fucking song and dance. Sorry. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. It says it right down there. If you forget how to spell it, it's CiottiFPV. No spaces. If you do that, it'll light your comment up in orange, and I'll know that you're talking to me, and I will do my best to read all of those comments and talk to you. Don Lads did it, and he said, "Good evening. How's you, bro?" Drone Pilot did it. He said, "First tag." FPV Hawk tagged me. Drone Pilot tagged again and said, "Is that his PC?" and clicked start. FPV Hawk says, "You are looking fresh." Thank you, brother. Ken Hill says, "Emuflight. Hope you didn't get butterflighted." So I don't know if it sounds like Ken Hill knows the story. For anybody that doesn't, one of the other reasons that I've stayed away from Emuflight for this long is that it is Betaflight, which has been developed over a number of years with a team of developers with a defined set of processes in place and checks and balances and shit like that, right? Like Betaflight is a known quantity. Emuflight is a much newer thing, and it's done by one, maybe two people, rather than a team of people. So less checks and balances, less all these things. Butterflight was the exact same way. And Butterflight is the reason that I've got two nasty scars on my right hand from prop strikes. There was something in the board orientation didn't work, and I had on two separate occasions I had rigs go Tasmanian Devil on me because of that. These quads can be dangerous. The tiny whoops, not at all. So I feel totally comfortable doing this on the tiny whoops. This is me being a little bit crazy, admittedly, but the day that you get a 5-inch rig stuck up in a tree, and then and it's over concrete, and you decide, okay, I'm going to catch it because I don't want it to hit the concrete, right? You're going to turtle mode it out, but you're going to catch it. The day that a 5-inch 600 plus gram rig falls 20 or 30 or 40 feet and you catch it is the day that you will understand why I'm so insane about this. Like the amount of energy and force behind a 5-inch rig at any kind of speed is mind-blowing. Not to mention that the props will cut through muscle to bone and shit, right? Like 5-inch rigs are so goddamn dangerous. 3-inch rigs are somewhat dangerous. Like, I went to the hospital. Like, this shit bled for over an hour. Like, it was nasty. So yeah, quads are dangerous. I feel more comfortable, and I love the way Betaflight flies. So yeah, I've not really had a compelling reason to go over to Emuflight. Now I do. So let's do a quick control flight on. Let's do the Muon, because I just got this thing done, and it's got the HD in it, which is super cool. So let's do the Muon first. I also put it onto these HQ propellers, just sort of as a sanity check to make sure that the I really prefer the Gemfan 4-blade Tiny Whoop propellers. Those ones. But again, when dealing with vibration issues like this, it's really important to do stuff like that. Like, just, I know that these propellers are fine, but let me just test a different set of propellers just to be totally sure that there's not some insanity going on, causing this known quantity set of propellers that I use on everything else to not work on this one thing. Actually, no. Let me get caught up on chat rather than us just diving right into it. Gary Higgins says, what's up? Dauntless says hello. Dauntless also says, that has a higher power Free Sky transmitter, right? I have no idea. I literally, I just, the light, Dauntless is talking about the Betafpv light. I don't even know what it's called. What's it called? The light? I think it's called the light. I got it because it was so cheap. I didn't do any research into it. He says, I don't know why people don't put 200 milliwatt FRSK modules in, but I'm not a radio link genius. There's Schnoids' $5 super chat. Thanks again, brother. Scroll. Drone pilot tagged me. It says, that's what I use on my drone, the Betaflight PH2 or whatever they're called, connectors on every Whoop battery and drone. There's where Z and I were talking about the Getbar C1102s. Freelojo says, going to fly last battery on factory Taycan motors. Nice. I think I recommended, what did I recommend to you, Freelojo? The 2004s, right? Although I probably told you 2004s if you want to keep the weight down, or 2203/4 FPV cycle motors if you want a little bit more grunt. Any of you guys with these big ass heavy Cinewhoops on like 1507s, you're probably not flying those rigs because they fly like a bag of shit on those motors. Get those motors off of there. Put Brother Hobby or Oh My God 2004s on them, or FPV Cycle 2203s. The current version of the FPV Cycle 2203 is actually a 2204, but on his website it says 2203 because he's trying to have less copies of his stuff. But yeah, a Cinewhoop on proper motors flies real nice and is really, really fun to fly. A Cinewhoop on 1507s is like hitting your penis with a hammer. Z also says, do you like running 1S or 2S? I really prefer 1S, just to try to keep the weight down. And I've also not had a situation where 1S... Basically, when I ran into this with the Baby Hawk way back when, I raised the performance little by little of that Baby Hawk, and I kept it on 2S. I didn't go over to 3S because the little tiny ESCs weren't rated for 3S. There were people running 3S, but I didn't want to try to push it. Well, I kept increasing the performance more and more on that rig, and there came a point where the 2S batteries would get so hot that I was like at the limit of 2S performance, and I needed to go up to 3S just to pull the amp draw down and get the battery heat under control. So I know basically if you fly a battery and like you come back and if the tune is fine, if the rig flies good, you know, then there's not other issues. If you land and the battery is boiling hot, you either need to go up in MAH, realistically you need to go up in voltage at that point. and I have not been having that situation with the tiny whoops yet. The batteries don't get hot enough that, in my opinion, I'm at the limit of 1S. The big problem though is that the lightest weight 2S battery is not light enough. So it's everything's a balance, but yeah, I'm balancing weight versus efficiency of higher voltage, and yeah. Plus the AIO boards, the Tiny Whoop AIO boards, some of them say like 1S or 2S, but it's like yeah, well, this is a 1S board, or maybe 2S. You know what I mean? These fucking AIO boards don't survive for more than like 20 batteries anyway. The last thing I want to do is push more voltage into them if I don't need to. Yeah. Z also says I have a spreadsheet that calculates that. I wonder, I don't remember what we were talking about, Z, but I'm interested. I like when other people make spreadsheets because I'm the worst at spreadsheets. So when somebody else makes them, I'm like, yes. I don't have to do it. Drone Pilot says, I fitted 1202.5 10,000 kV motors on a 75mm whoop frame, printed nylon, and actually worked quite well on 1S 450 mAh batteries. Yeah, Drone Pilot, that's what I'm excited about with this. This is, these are the tiny whoop, the bigger tiny whoop size. 75, is what. It's funny. 75 refers to the motor-to-motor distance on those tiny whoop frames. It has nothing to do with the propellers. The propellers are actually like 1.4, but nobody knows it by 1.4. Everybody knows it by 75. Yeah, these 1202 Newbie Drone flow motors, I'm really excited. I really think that 12 millimeters is the right stator width for this size propeller. I just need to get it so that it doesn't have all these vibe issues. Hopefully we'll get that done in a bit. Remy Tim says, we talked about that. Okay. Z says, are you ready for the Insta360 Go 2? I didn't know that was, are you just like saying that, Z? Or is there an announcement that I missed? If they can make an Insta360 Go that's completely identical to this one, that runs 30 frames per second, I will be so fucking happy. If they can also get it up to 2.7K, that would be even more insane. But I would be completely fine with just that one thing, to be completely honest. Everything else about it is totally fine. There's some annoying shit, but like if you don't leave it in its little case thing here, the battery just like self-discharges after a few days, which really sucks. But you just fucking leave it in here, right? Like there's these things that are solvable. The fact that it's stuck at 24 frames a second is not solvable, and it's annoying. It makes mixing Insta360 Go footage in with any other footage that's at 30 frames per second a pain in the ass. And 24 frames a second just doesn't look as good. It's just not a high enough frame rate for what we do, for the flying, the type of flying that we do. Although on a tiny whoop, on a small little rig, it's a lot less of a big deal. On like a full, like on the Ripsqueak, the big 3-inch rig, you'll start to see the limitations of 24 frames a second. It's just not quite enough frames. EDoc says, but dynamic rates. The actual rate profile in Betaflight is brilliant. I can't possibly imagine that. And I actually really don't like the idea of dynamic rates. The last thing that I want is for my rate to change at all as I move the stick. Like, the dynamic rate thing is a great idea in theory, but as a pilot, I don't think it's a good idea. It's the same reason why I prefer NA or supercharged powertrains to turbocharged powertrains. With a turbocharged engine, if you've learned that you move your right foot down 6 centimeters for 103 horsepower. With a turbo engine, that shit's out the window because you move your foot that amount, and not only is there a power curve where the RPM of the engine is dependent upon the amount of power that it makes, but there's boost threshold, which most people call turbo lag. And that boost threshold means that regardless of the RPM, when you do that with your right foot, the amount of power that you get is going to change. It's going to go up over time. So there are these two like diverging things that change the amount of power, and I've never been able to drive a turbocharged car as comfortably at the limit of traction as an NA or a supercharged car for that reason. And I just apply a lot of things that I learned in motorsports to quads. So yeah, the dynamic rate thing I will not be turning on. If I hope you can turn that off. Pedro Tome says, did you see the Tina Whoop frame? Looks good to carry an HD cam. Tina Whoop frame is interesting. It's really heavy, and there are some fucking weird aerodynamic things going on. I don't really want. I just don't want that. If I'm gonna have ducts, I want a duct that's gonna work like a duct. I don't want a weird thing with like holes drilled in it. And the other and where that comes out is that the Tina Whoops struggle with power. They don't make good power because there's so much aerodynamic chaos happening. And with what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to keep the weight like super low and the carrying capacity as high as possible. So I can't have that. Like I can't have all that nonsense going on. I need a nice, normal, smooth, round duct. I say round because Flywoo just came out with those rigs with the octagon ducts, because flight performance doesn't matter. All that matters is what something looks like. That's how you sell it, making it look cool. Brendan's Baked Beans says, I black box frame resonance on plastic frames now. Z says, which rigs? I don't remember what we were talking about at the time. Pesky FPV says, is CiottiFPV actually trying emo? Sick. Jason Crabtree says, would changing prop pitch and therefore hover RPM help with the resonance? Maybe. Unfortunately, we don't really have... well, so that's interesting that you say that. That's a perfect example of why I switched this over to these HQ propellers. I didn't even think that far into it, to be honest. I just switched them because I know that when dealing with issues, sometimes just like randomly switching shit, if you have it, right? Like I had these propellers taking 3 goddamn seconds to go boop, 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 and put it back up in the air, right? But that's a super interesting thought, Jason. So yeah, that could totally change like the hover resonance issues, or maybe the forward flight resonance issues. Ideally though, for me, I don't want to like just, that's kind of a band-aid, right? Like I want, I need, and if I'm going to keep a rig together and not rip it apart and try to fix the issue, I need it to hover with no bullshit. I need it to go this fast with no bullshit. I need to go right. Like I need it to perform properly in all of the different, at all of the different throttle ranges. That's a really good thought though, Jason. I never thought to do that. I guess I never thought to do that because of what I just said, where I don't. Although, what's interesting is if the issue was like only at hover, then what you're saying could be like the right fix. With these rigs, it's not. The issue is not just at hover. We're going to do a hover test to show you the issue because it's the easiest, but I've flown them around nose down and the issue persists. So, but yeah, that's a really, really interesting thought. I never thought through the fact that a different pitched prop will straight up hover at a different RPM, and sometimes they'll just be like 1 RPM. That's the issue, right? They'll just be like one harmonic frequency that makes the whole system go to hell. So by pitching down, yeah, so you would have better luck by actually pitching down on the propellers, because then it would spin, you know, like let's say it's at hover, it would need to spin the props higher than that. And yeah, and then when you put the nose down, you just use more RPM. So in theory, you could potentially avoid, right? Like if the RPM is 10,000 where the vibrations happen, right? And on a 30 pitch prop at hover, it's right at that frequency. If you went down to like a 20 pitch prop, it would maybe need 12,000 RPM to hover. It would get you out of that resonance, and then all you're ever going to do is raise the throttle, right? When you chop the throttle below hover, it's typically you're chopping the throttle all the way down to nothing. Unless you've got a bunch of elevation and you're dropping elevation, but that you typically don't really do that with tiny whoops, right? Yeah, it's a really good thought. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling. FPV, oh, we got that. Motor scaling in the CLI on 4.1. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just... although I don't think I have RPM filters on that rig, so that's not really a fair test. Frank is here. Remy Tim says, song and dance, Dance Monkey. Drone Pilot says, what is that new Nanohawk that's 20 grams like from Emax? I was thinking you could chop some more weight off of that frame. Yeah, the Nanohawk is a tiny whoop propellered toothpick with a little prop, with a tiny little piece of plastic as a prop guard. I'm actually kind of interested in that class of rig for these guys, just for like, so basically it's this, right? But when you remove this, like, just think about this thing flying through the air, right? Like, think of how not aerodynamic it is to have this big chunk of plastic, right? So, like, for example, if this rig is a little bit too slow, to make a toothpick version of this without the ducts, but still with the canopy, would be a little bit faster. Like, that's the big difference between ducts and no ducts, is how much wind resistance there is on this plane. And this plane is important because it bashes through the fucking sky. So yeah, I'm super interested in a non-ducted version of this that's on a carbon fiber X plate. Like, you can't just with these tiny whoop frames, you can't just take a fucking pair of pliers and just cut the duct. The duct is a part of the structure of the frame, and if you cut it out, the frames become impossibly wobbly. So yeah, I'm actually super interested, and what's cool is a bunch of people are now Newbie Drone has a little carbon fiber frame for it. I think BQE might. So yeah, I'm actually really interested in those. Z says, you can gain RPMs much more effectively with increased voltage and reduce amp draw. That is a fact. CMYKFPV says, yo. CMYK and I did another session today. We did a 30-minute session available over on Fiverr, where I helped him plan a build. Sat down with him on a Zoom call, and I said, what's the use going to be? Where do you fly? How do you fly? Just a whole bunch of questions that allow me to custom tailor, in this case it was a 3-inch build that he was looking to do, for him top to bottom, and tell him the best motor option, the best propellers, ESC, flight controller, make sure you get M2x6 hardware because the TPU arm protectors are a little bit thicker. and the normal hardware that the motors come with is not going to be long enough. Shit like that, right? Shit that'll save you weeks of waiting for stuff. CMYK was willing to spend a little bit of money to get all that info up front so that his life is less horrible. And if you'd like to do the same, CiottiFPV.com has a link to my Fiverr shop. The Fiverr shop is just under CiottiFPV, as is everything. Yeah. I would love to help you out. I would love to help every single one of you guys not go through the pain and suffering that I had to go through figuring out what shit sucks and what shit is good with micros. And I also want to be able to do this, continue to do this full time. The live streaming and a lot of this shit started from my want to do that. I have realized this year that when I do this full time, 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, I can do a lot better job, and I can test a lot more stuff, and I can interface with you guys a lot more and answer a lot more questions and offer a lot more stuff and, you know, all kinds of shit on the Patreon page, right? So yeah, but I need help, right? Like, everybody needs to chip in a shekel or two. I can't believe I just said shekel. TPMG says, damn, I run 1507s on my Cinewhoop and I don't like it. It's time to spend some money again. Luckily, TPMG, lots of people that haven't found me yet don't realize that 1507s blow goats. So there's plenty of people that'll buy those from you. And I recommend heading on over to FPV Cycle to sell those fuckers. If you guys have not gone to FPV Cycle and set up your account and imported some products from RDQ or Get FPV, I think Nevin's working on Pyrodrone. If you haven't done that, then there's no chance that you'll win a free Session 5 tomorrow, or any of the other, like, 80 things that Nevin is doing giveaways for tomorrow. I'm opening my email to show you guys the email that came from Nevin. Look at this. I mean, just go do it. Like, here's all the stuff that he's giving away. It's a ton of amazing stuff. And all you have to do is go set up an account, click a couple buttons to import your purchases, and you're entered to win. I don't know a single reason why every single one of you wouldn't go do it. FPV Cycle really comes alive when a lot of people do exactly this, because the way that it basically works is that when you do that, when I went on there and I set up my account for Aaron Ciotti in Atlanta, Georgia, and I imported everything I've ever bought very simply and easily from RDQ and Get FPV, there's now a record in that database that I own here in Atlanta, all of those items. By default, they're not set as for sale. But if I decide that I want to sell this battery, I can go on FPV Cycle right now and click a button and it'll be for sale, magically. I don't have to fucking take a picture of it. I don't have to write a goddamn description. I don't have to deal with 10,000 assholes messaging me trying to lowball me on Facebook Marketplace, right? I just click a button that takes it from I own it to I would like to sell it. And then it's for sale. And anybody who searches for that specific item is going to get to see that, yeah, it's available on Get FPV, yeah, it's available on RDQ, but Captain Gangly Fuck Big Teeth Pants is also selling one of them. I'll support the community and get it for cheaper by buying it off him. Or if somebody comes to town and they're on a really expensive gig and for some reason they absolutely need specifically this, but I don't have it set for sale, they can see that I own it, message me, and say, hey, how much money is it going to take to buy that very specific thing off of you that I absolutely desperately need on this gig that has $1,000 day rate? $100? Done. Don't you want to make $100 off of a battery? Just a random example, but that's the power of FPV Cycle, and that's why I really, really support the shit out of the website and out of Nevin. I truly believe that it's a big deal, and yeah, although in fairness, I'm also a big, like, I'm an eco freak, and I try to be green with everything I do. So buying used stuff is a really big makes a really big difference. So yeah, FPV Exchange feeds into that need for me to want to try to just use things until they're used up, right? Not just throw shit away and just in the US it's a very disposable culture. So yeah, get over there. Get over to FPV Cycle and set up an account and import your past purchases from RDQ and get FPV. Just trust me, it's awesome. You're gonna like it. That's what the site looks like. Location based. There's what the items look like, and there's what the offer page looks like. It's super dope. If you don't go do it, you're only hurting yourself. He's giving away thousands of dollars of stuff. And all he's asking you to do is set up your account. That's pretty cool. You don't have to share it. You don't have to whore yourself out. You just have to go check it out. That's pretty dope. That's pretty generous. Eh? CMYKFPV says, yo. Oh, we already got that. Justin Gable says, good evening. Just curious, do you have one of those color-changing salt lamps? I got a really cool idea I'm working on for you. I don't. I didn't even know that those salt lamps changed colors. I thought they were just pink all the time. I do not, Dustin, and now I'm curious. Z says, the ASI 40 millimeter props run well at higher RPMs. You know the problem I have with those ASI props is every single time that I've put one on, I've managed to bend a blade enough that the damn thing doesn't spin true anymore. Or they're not as well balanced as the GemFan props. One of those two situations is true. I think I'm bending the blades when I put them on because the blades are just so fragile. My God. And that's the other issue that I have with those ASI props is, like, if you get into a crash with them, they just don't they don't survive. The blades are just way too skinny and fragile. Athix in the house. Z says Insta360 Go 2 comes out soon. That's pretty awesome. Scroll. Brandon Baked Beans says you can turn off dynamic rates. Yes. Drone Pilot says I have a turbocharged car and the thing is weird when you're on and off the throttle continuously. Spool up and down makes a difference and you can hear it. Drone Pilot knows what's up. Brandon's Baked Bean says I always get CiottiFPV tongue-tied. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling. Joshua Bodwell says two-stroke brap for life. Oh, shit sticks. You motorcycle guys have lost your damn... The motorcycle thing, man. I don't have the self-control. I'd be dead in a week. Copter 612 is in the house. Just finished Micro Alien, Brother Hobby 1504.5, 3950 KV 4S Hurricane 3016. As you've spec'd out for me over time. No HD, but one of my favorite flights. Thanks for sharing the knowledge and experiences. Isn't that combo unbelievable, Copter? And then if you want some more power, you can jump up to the GemFan 3042s. Unfortunately, you can't use the Emax Avan 3-inch props because Emax had to make them stupid. They just don't fit. They don't fit most motors. They're great propellers, but most motors, the props just don't fit. Come on, Emax. Really? But yeah, that's super dope. Hey, CMYKFPV, I forgot that I've run, when we were talking today, I forgot that the Hurricane 30, I know I mentioned the 3016s, but I said you probably will want a little bit more pitch than that. I forgot that I ran those on the 1504.5 3950s, and they made really good power. Not as much power, but still really good power. So yeah, get some of those 3016s. They'll be your lightweight tri-blade option. TPMG says the Nanohawk flies amazing, probably the best whoop I've ever flown, but to really call it a whoop is a stretch, and the prop guards are basically useless. The props bend after every crash. Yeah, so that's great feedback from TPMG. It flies amazing because it's a tiny whoop on a carbon frame, something that I've wanted for a long time. So yeah, awesome. And yeah, also really good feedback on the fact that those prop guards are just completely useless. Where the prop guards would be useful, I will say, is flying in your house in the situation where you touch a wall, right? You just like graze against something. So not totally useless, but yeah. Athix says, I know the Nanohawk has to have something about the flight controller that makes it Emacs usable only. I would like to try it on a baby tooth build. Yeah, that's interesting. I did notice that Emacs went to finally a much more standard AIO design. I have not looked up to see if you can take it out of there and run it in another frame. If you find out whether or not you can do that, Athix, because my brain is exactly where yours is like, okay, it might look like it'll work in something else, but Emacs has always prevented me from doing this. I wonder how they prevented me from doing it this time, right? So yeah. CMYK says, thanks you, worth every single dollar. My pleasure, my friend. KVFPV says, this should be fun. Just got my SMO. Very cool. Already conformal coding it. Awesome. James Vaughton with a $5 super chat. He says, what's for dinner? I have no idea. I had nachos a little bit ago before the stream, and Kristen's out doing her successful businesswoman thing. So yeah, I will have to wait and find out. Frank says, you keep saying FPV cycle, but you mean FPV exchange. There's something about when a camera is pointed at you that, or like not even a camera. This happened to me on the when I was on the FPV show. I said GoPro instead of RunCam, and I did it like 3 times in a row. I know that GoPro doesn't make the split or the hybrid, but there's something that like happens when we're in like performance, I guess, like situations where I hope this happens to other people, but yeah, I will just say the wrong thing, and I just won't catch it at all, and it's just like is this just aging? Don Ladd says, Nevin got a lot of great things for the hobby. I've got an account already. There you go. You're already entered then, Don. FPV Hawk says, sell your puffy Whoop batteries. Yeah, Whoop batteries are a rough example. But you guys get what I'm getting at. Casper with 50 dicks. Thank you, Casper. I need all the dicks I can get. Huge Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Denmark. I look forward to seeing what the new year brings. Thanks, brother. Very, very cool of you. I hope it's not insulting that I call them dicks. I just think it's hysterical that the acronym is DKK, and that Jimmy Broadbent calls them dicks, so I stole it from him. So blame him. And he's in Europe. So is it? Oh, okay. So is somebody that lives in Great Britain allowed to call them dicks, but us fat cheeseburger Americans aren't? I'm fine with that. They're just, yeah. There's just things that, as an American, I don't think that we should do. Just in general. But whatever. Brandon's McBean says, try a gyro notch at 200 hertz down to 130 hertz on Whoop frames. Turn off all gyro filters except for this notch. Then determ slider to 1.5x. This needs RPM filtering to work. 100 to 700. And then Q equals 250. One dynamic notch. I haven't gone that specific with the tune on these guys yet, but I have done quite a bit of farting around with the tunes. I've also talked to Mark Spatz about it, and we talked about his Tiny Whoop tuning experience. The long and so I I also try to not go, like, if I have to go that specific with the tune, right? Like if I have to go to that much length to get the tune right, I'm usually not, like, I would really rather figure out what's going on in the mechanical system that's causing that issue, unless, like, it's a class of rig that nobody's ever gotten to fly properly, right? Like, that's where I draw the line. Like, if we were talking about a fucking 20 millimeter motor to motor tiny whoop, right? Like, totally off the reservation, never been done before. We don't have the mechanical components that can make it work. In that situation, I'm fine going totally nutso, black box it, figure out like every crazy little notch filter to put in there for each resonance that exists. I don't versus, like, I don't think 65 millimeter whoops are in. I don't know. There's pluses and minuses on either side. I really, really, really try to fix the mechanical system so that you don't have to go so nuts on the tune, because I genuinely believe that rig will always fly better because the mechanical system is running better. You know what I mean? And you don't have to go so crazy with the software to get around all of these weird vibrations and shit like that. The flip side of that is that if you can get it to fly good enough by going nuts on the software, it will potentially open some different options for you up with different motors, different frames, you know, maybe a frame that is floppy. But it will, so the everything we've been talking about with these Redshifter's frames, right? Up until these new ones that are hysterically stiff, the frames were a little bit more wobbly than the poured tiny whoop frames. So, right, going nutso with the software could potentially open up the ability to use the floppier frame. So there's pluses and minuses. Every time I've ever had to go really specific with the tune on a rig, the rig is never right. I can never get the PID tune where I want it. And then there's like weirdness. There's always like one, you know, it reminds me of like when you do like a super budget eBay build on a car. It's never right. It's always like, and you know, when we used to always joke about this as instructors, when we would get a student that when we would drive their car, there was like a 5-minute discussion before we went out of like, okay, so make sure that you only give it throttle a half a second after the shift, because if you give it throttle too early, it's going to stall because the piggyback that I have is a little bit delayed, like, right? Whereas I want my car to be like, oh yeah, you want to go. I want my quads to be the same way. So yeah, and this is the majority of this is just from sort of past experience. Brandon's suggestions here are probably dead on the money because he said earlier he's been doing a bunch of black box logging. But yeah, I have when I started to learn black box, I really saw the power of it. And then I was talking to Ryan Harrell, I believe it was, and he said, and we basically had this same conversation of like, black box is great and it allows you to find a lot of issues, but when it comes to tuning, a good mechanical tune is what I've called it at some point, is better than a really dialed in. I mean, better is both, right? But a really good mechanical tune being top of the list of priorities, and then a good software tune. That's my approach to sort of everything. Dustin says, all right, that works. I'll email you about it. Sounds good. Don Ladd says, mine is bad as well. I blame CiottiFPV. License to Drive says, this is that HK Color 250 frame. I haven't finished building. It's glass, nylon, and made by Diatone. Fucker. I always copy the links wrong. Look at that thing. What in the hell? Glass-filled nylon. Damn. Made by Diatone. Is this new or is this like an old? This better be an old frame. They've got holes in the arms. Can you fill those holes in the arms in? Look at that thing. That thing's crazy looking. Obese Quads. He's here. Gonna put these Xnova 1804s on FPV Exchange. Can't make them work. Obese, I will buy them from you, man. I need a set, and they've been absolutely phenomenal for me. So I will buy them from you. I can't do that for everyone. I suggested that Obese Quads buy those Xnova 1804s, and he can't get them running, and that makes me feel terrible. It's one of the reasons why I've never done reviews, because it is just a fucking nightmare of mine that I suggest that you guys spend your hard-earned money on a product that I've had really good luck with, and you don't have good luck with it. That'll legitimately keep me up at night. So yeah. I'll buy them off you, brother, if you'd like. Freelojo is posting a video of the motors on the... I'm posting a video of the motors on the Taycan V1.1 in slow-mo. Are you doing the notchiness testing, Freelojo? Scroll. TPMJ says, I saw nothing about the FX that would prevent you from using a Nanohawk frame, or FC. That's pretty cool. That's really good news. Gary Higgins says, I've never flown inside with a whoop, but wow, it's harder than I thought. Yeah. Wait till you try it on acro mode. Drop your rates really low. If you're going to fly in a tiny whoop inside on acro mode, you're going to need it, because every single degree of change is going to have you hitting a wall, and you're going to be like, why the fuck did I just hit that wall? It's because everything's so much smaller. Brandon says, I've seen some trends on several whoops. I've black box. They tend to have resonance right around 200 hertz. A nice bump there that doesn't vary with RPM. That is the mechanical issue. Which frames, Brandon? 65 frames, 75 frames, Newbie Drone Cockroach frame, Mobula frame, Betaflight frame, Meteor frame. Mainly, I'm curious 65 versus 75, because other than these this fairly boring standard 65 is bulletproof. Like, the filtering is jacked. There's practically no filtering on it. The PID loop is jacked in like the 120s, 110s. It's locked. It's great. It's beautiful. 75 is giving me the 75 frames are giving me a little bit more trouble. Dustin says, what are your thoughts on TBS Grinder 2207 2500 kV on a 5-inch? Not a fan of 2207 as a motor size, but those Grinder motors bot crashes hard, so those Grinder motors should be really strong. I can't say if they are for sure. My worry is that they're TBS motors. TBS's silk steel motors are, from everybody that I've ever talked to other than Steel that's run them, they are just a nightmare in terms of durability, in that they're not durable at all. So that scares me, but I'm sure that if TBS sent bot Grinder 2207 prototypes that were weak as shit, that he would have said no. So, I mean, they should be tough. If you like 2207, there you go. They're going to be a great motor. There's motors are at a point where you can kind of buy them on which pilot you want to support, or which ones you like the look of best. Most 5-inch motors are just like really good quality at this point. Brandon's Baked Bean says 200 hertz is a low hum. It's just what plastic does. I know 200 hertz. I know the sound of 200 hertz from a couple years that I was into home theater. 200 hertz is THX's crossover, and I used to always push the crossover down from 200. Apparently, that 200 hertz crossover works really well with a lot of these like Atmos and sound bars, which makes sense because they have tiny little drivers in them. So it's interesting to have come kind of full circle. License to drive. Oh wait, no, we got that. Freelojo says, "Yup, Nachi." Copy in the link. This is gonna make me very happy. Yes! This is why I made that video. I made that notchiness testing thing in a way that you guys could do it. This is great. Hurry up, Freelojo. Hurry up, spin it. Spin it, you fucker. God damn it. Dude, wash your hands too. What are you doing? Here we go. Here we go. Here it comes. Oh, the suspense. Ah! Ooh! 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 That's some. Ooh! 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 That is not what you want to see, boys and girls. That is not what you want. I know those motors. They had that quad at Grayson when they had me do the out to do that 95X view review, and I turned this. I picked that rig up. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting," and I went like that with the motor, and I just went. I just walked the fuck away. I'm like, no. That's not gonna work. Drone Pilot says nylon eventually absorbs moisture and it becomes like al dente pasta, great for canopy but not good for frames. Even glass filled will be an issue with vibes on anything larger than whoop. Don Ladd says license to drive is sending me some of them frames. I love the weird frames. It's probably only fly a few times. Nice for my wall. Good guy. We're gonna fly in the summer. Look at you guys. This is the collective at work right there. Tiago says, recall us of your rates for inside tiny whooping. 0.3 on RC rate. My normal RC rate on regular Betaflight rates is 0.6. On the tiny whoops, it's not 0.3, it's 0.4. So just take your regular rate, your regular RC rate and expo, and just pull the RC rate down and push the expo up a little bit. You can leave your maximum rotation alone. That's fine. But yeah, the RC rate and the expo, you need to soften them up to be able to fly acro inside with tiny whoops and get through an entire battery without having to chase it down 700 times. Brandon's big. So far, 75mm frames, but not the new newbie drone one. The 85mm frame from Betaflight is similar. Okay, cool. We'll try that. Actually, we'll do a really quick. Brandon, do me a favor. That post in the chat where you had the bunch of different things. Do me a favor, copy that, paste that so it's current in the chat. I'm about to be caught up. I will put this up in the air where it's at now, and then I'll do what you're recommending, and we'll see what it does. Scroll. Drone Pilot says, I run 16.77 firmware on all my whoops, 48 kilohertz, and the efficiency is better, 25% more flight time, and RPM filtering actually works well. I do the same. Dustin Gable says, okay, thanks. I'm looking at different motors. Unless you have a better suggestion, I'm looking on fpvexchange.com right now, shopping around. Awesome. Yeah, I don't really have a suggestion for different motors. I've flown like 20 different motors on my Acrobat, and the X-Nova 1804s melted every single one of those by like a huge margin. They've been impossibly easy to tune. They've been just yeah, I have no idea why you went from a 1408 to a notchy 1408 to a smooth 1804, and it's causing problems. Yeah, I know we tried a bunch of things together. It doesn't make any sense. It goes completely against everything that has ever happened to me. It just doesn't make any sense. Double A says, Wild Terrence. Yeah, what's up, Double A? TPMG says, unpopular opinion, I fly my whoops with my normal rates and acro only. I stubbornly did the same thing for a long time, TPMG. And then when I moved the sensitivity down a little bit, I was just like, oh, okay. It was really an eye-opening kind of thing. And there's no like, I just kind of kept playing with it, and I ended up in a spot where like it just feels right. Like just flying a tiny whoop feels correct. There's like zero adjustment between flying inside an apartment in a 900 square foot apartment versus a fucking football field with a 5-inch rig. That's really what I was doing. I was just wanting to get to a point where I could comfortably plug a battery, like go fly 25-inch batteries and then come home and plug a battery into the tiny whoop and just be able to fly around. Like not have to like, okay, God, right, be less sensitive because you're in the house. Okay. It was more like I want to be able to move the sticks I want my brain just to be able to fly without any adjustment, and that was how I was able to do it. But everybody's brain works differently, so for some people I love the idea of not running different rates on any rigs. I love that idea. But having the lower rates on the tiny whoop just really helped me out. And I've tried to go back too, and it just doesn't work for me. Freelojo says, got the FPV cycle 23.034, 3450 waiting to go in probably tonight. Nice. Loon says, have you checked out Tiny Whoop Go yet? Taps foot. I haven't, and I can pretty much guarantee that I won't. I don't have. I barely fly in real life, just because I can't. I'm just really struggling to find the time. So I'm not gonna like any opportunity that I get to fly. I want to fly in real life rather than in a simulator, because flying for real is just a better representation. It's better practice. I don't have a single reason to check out Tiny Whoop Go. Unfortunately, sorry, brother. Brandon Baked Bean says, "Oh, we got it. Okay, cool. Caught up on chat. Look at me go." I'm going to highlight this, and did it just take me an hour and a half to get caught up on chat again? No, we did mailbag. Okay, that's fine. R3D shifters. Muon. This is the V2 Muon, which I think is what you'll get if you order one. We're going to go GNB 300. Doesn't really matter. The problems are going to be hey, what's up? Oh, you're the best. All right. Love you too. Alrighty. Bye. She's bringing food home, guys. Here we go. I wanted to try to put on. I should have a flight video more queued up than I do. Usually I actually do, because usually I start the streams with a queued up video, but I didn't today. Okay. the right model? Nope. Maybe it is. Nope. This is the right model. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right, so, oh God. What I want you guys to pay attention to is the rig's inability to hold to hold altitude. It's a weird way to check the tune, but it's kind of a decent way to check the tune. There should be no reason that without me changing the throttle, a rig will change altitude. Like, rigs should hover dead solid. If they're not having vibration issues that are causing these weird harmonics and the filters to go ham and like, oh my God, I'm filtering too much, now I'm filtering too little. Yeah. So, let's see. See it drop? That ain't good. That's not what you want to see. So I can't I can't keep. I'm trying to keep this at the same elevation. Like, I'm having to move the throttle all over the place. All right, so that's more of a test for me because I know how much I'm having to move the throttle up and down to keep the elevation solid. In fairness, let me show you guys a rig that is not having issues, because that's one of the only ways that I can show you guys, right? Because you're not on the transmitter. I guess I could get another camera and point it at the transmitter for stick cam, but I'm not going to do that. So there's still some variance, but look how much more solid that is, right? Look at that. So, oh, well, you guys could kind of see it in the small screen. I'm assuming you guys could see a difference there. If not, then you'll just have to take my word for it. The other thing that you can do is just hold these. Just arm it and like move the throttle up and down and just hold it. Like, you'll literally feel you'll feel the different RPMs that it's picking up and losing different vibes and shit like that. Okay. Here we go. Plugging in the Betaflight. Turning off the transmitter. It is not still connected. You are a liar. Oh, wait, no, it is. Because it's hooked up to USB. So, let's see where... I forget where we left off with this. Okay, so I didn't move them all the way down. I brought them down to 0.7. So, let's actually... First, let's pull them all the way down. Maximum filtering... Betaflight 4.2.5. I do have... Oh, this is the stock dynamic notch filtering. Okay, that's interesting. Why don't I have... Where the hell is RPM filtering? Why do I not have that on? Well, let's try Brandon's suggestion right off the rip. No, I can't. I don't want to compare this to Emuflight without RPM filtering. But why the fuck didn't I get RPM filtering turned on this? That's dumb. Let me do that. It's just not going to be a fair comparison of, yeah. RPM filters are a big deal. Right. BL Heli. Old school. We're going to connect. We are going to read. And 16.8. That sounds new. 16.8. That's newer than new. What? Is this thing already on? 16.8. And it's not beeping. It's not beeping as if it has JESC on it. So 16.8. What the hell is that about? Well, yeah, I mean, let's just turn it on and see if it works. Bidirectional here. Motor poles, almost guaranteed it's 12. And motors tab. That's really weird. Why did I not have that turned on? Okay. Well, let's see if what is this? It's an F4. Oh. Let me make sure that I'm on 4K and D-Shot 300. There we go. Huh. Why didn't I flip the switch? You know what probably happened? I'll bet you that I just assumed that I would have to flash BL Heli and didn't feel like doing it. And said, I'll just fly it without it real quick. And then I never went back to turn it on. It's mildly embarrassing. Not really, though. Here we go! See that? Did you see it wobble? I hope you guys could see that wobble. Yeah, it's still all over the place. It's no better. Right now, it's probably over-filtered, though. I've got so much filtering on this at the moment. And having too much filtering is not a good thing. So let's do what Brandon had suggested. All right, gyro notch at 200. Gyro notch on 200 down to 130. Oof, that's a big notch. I'm going to pull these up to 0.8. Just because like having them turned all the way down is no good. It adds too much delay. What else? Turn off all gyro filters except for this notch. So that's right there. Which I have tried. I have tried running this build without the gyro filters, and it was no better. D-term slider to 1.5. Oh my god, that's so aggressive. We gonna try it anyway. Again, this is an This will be a good exploration if we had way too much filtering. Things happen so quickly on Tiny Whoops that having too much filtering can literally add so much delay that the system can't, like the system is just angry. I don't know how to explain it. When you say 100 to 700, Brandon, what are you referring to? Q250? Oh, I know what you're referring to. Max of 700, min of 100, and then you're thinking 250 on the Q. This is pretty similar to some aspects of this are similar to the tuning that I usually try to do. Let's see how this is.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered. Telemetry recovered.
There it goes. That was weird. It wouldn't disconnect. I hit disconnect twice. All right. So this is going to be the end of Betaflight for this. After this, we're going to go over to Emuflight and see what happens. There you guys go. All right, so that's quite a bit worse, to the point where it just got too hot and fell out of the sky.
Telemetry lost.
Checking the battery. Let me throw another battery on here just to be sure. But I was having to move the throttle around much more to get the damn thing like in the view of the camera, basically. That battery is actually too big. That's super annoying. Tell me that this isn't too big. Oh, farts. Really? Well, I'm gonna have to put a big battery in it, but that doesn't really matter. Actually, this is kind of nice having this big battery in it, because this will make the situation even more difficult on the tuning side of things, and I like that. I prefer kind of swinging with a weighted bat to get the only possible issue is this is now going to be up at a higher RPM because it's a heavier battery. All right, let's see. Oh, there it goes. Damn. Nope. I was about to say it's, oh, no. Yeah, see, it just keeps... It'll get, although now... There it goes again, though. It seems to sort of just develop, like, a vibration, and then that vibration seems to just, like, you know what I mean? Like, it gets all fucking vibey with itself, and then it feeds back into itself, and and yeah, that's one of the telltale signs, in my experience at least, of a system that has too much vibration. And I've just not had great luck tuning that out. Like if I build a rig and it does this shit that it's doing here on stock-ish PIDs, and then if I add a little bit more filtering and, you know, try a couple things and it still does it, I've never had the experience that I just kept going and going and going and going and going on that rig and got it to a place where it flies acceptable. I've gotten them to a place where they fly doing that, but that's not enough for me. Like, I don't have any interest in rigs that just fly. I need rigs that fly really good, because the shit that I try to do when I'm flying is difficult, and it requires it requires a rig that flies really well. So, target. I'm going to post this in the chat. Oh, God. Ooh. Hamo Crazy BF 4FR. All right, I'm going to do something I thought I would never do. I clicked the emu button. Let's see what happens. Can't log it, Brandon. None of these fucking tiny whoop AIOs have black box. Which is one of the things that makes this whole thing such a goddamn pain in the ass. And it's also one of the reasons why I have had so much better luck building these rigs with mechanical systems that work well. Because, without black box, you're just throwing darts, unfortunately. And, like, with these rigs, if you change one thing, it can really have such crazy... is this gonna... You gonna do anything, or... Just gonna kind of... sit there giving me the middle finger, huh? Well, while we're waiting... Look at this. Oh, Jesus Christ, on a cracker. Really? Here you go. This will be uploaded to YouTube at some point, but you guys will get the magic super secret exclusive. Ready? Now I'm knocking stuff all over the place. That's not great. Hold on. Wow, that jumped up a notch. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Emuflight! Look at that! Alright. Okay, where's that target? Okay, is there anything else that I need to know from... Oh, you know what? Let me take a quick screenshot of the ports, just in case the ports don't come through or whatever. Oh, fuck. This happy... Are you kidding me? This happy model board is running the, goddamn HD camera. Okay, I gotta be quick about this so that nothing melts. TBS Smart Audio on UART 2, and then disabled on UART 1. Okay. I'm assuming everything is pretty much the same here. So, Crazy Bee F4 something or other. F4 FR versus FS. Okay, cool. FR Sky versus whatever the other one is. Okay. 0.3.2. Cool. Full chip erase, yes. Load firmware online. Flash firmware. All right. Okay. I know where the bind button is too, which is nice. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to push the bind button and plug this in at the same time. If I stick this piece of plastic in there... Oh, yeah. Oh, yes! I can push that bind button very easily. Or not bind button, DFU. Although this might be the bind button. God damn it. I don't think I was holding it down. No, I wasn't. It'll say DFU. Man, I haven't had to deal with this in a while. Shit. Does Emuflight not automatically put flight controllers into DFU? Is that a thing? Or is it just this board? I don't remember dealing with this in Betaflight. But I also don't remember if I had to reinstall it. It might have come with 4.2 on it. Okay, I was definitely holding it down that time. And it's not in DFU. God damn it. Is that the only button on here? I think it is. I mean, it's certainly the only button that I have access to. Oh, god damn it. First guy versus failsafe. Yeah, right. Let's see what happens here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is going on here? I guess it went into CLI mode because it has some other operating system on it that's confusing it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, how the fuck am I gonna put it into DFU mode? If there's no button, and if Emuflight's configurator can't get it into... Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright. Let's try that. Maybe that was causing an issue. I think there used to be a CLI command for DFU. I think it was just DFU. All right. Let's see if that works. Huh. Emuflight's having a... Is it always this slow? Is this like to be expected? What's going on? Come on, Emuflight. Work. I just need you to connect. You did it a minute ago. There it is. DFU. Set DFU. Get DFU. Fuck DFU. BL. Ah! It's like old school Betaflight. I get it. Okay. Going back in time a year. That's okay. Full chip erase is on. Load firmware online. Flash firmware. There we go. Emuflight. Make it like Betaflight. That's annoying. That's the kind of thing that like yeah, new people will not be able to get over and they'll like give up. Maybe it's hard. Maybe it's hard to make it automatically do that. Usually if somebody, yeah. Usually when something is not included, it's because there's a reason for it. It's not just like for funsies. Cool. Okay. Accelerate calibrometer. It was like not flat at all. I just like to get it like in the ballpark. Okay. We're gonna go smart audio, and then this looks good here. And let's connect again here. Configuration. We are props out. We're gonna go D-Shot 300. 4K, 4K. Let's leave the accelerometer on. Very important there. Ooh, the maximum arm angle is set at 180. That's nice. Okay. Free Sky X. I think that's correct. I see cinematic yaw there. That's pretty cool. Supposedly that works better than the angle mix, but that's just not something I'm ever going to use. I do not want air mode on all the time. I do want OSD, and I think I want the dynamic filter, right? Turn on the D-Shot beeper and save. I'm actually not gonna set up the. I'm just gonna do bare minimum here, because it's running the HD board. I just want to get this into a place where it's somewhat flyable, so that I can do the direct comparison. It's 0.89. And no expo. All right, cool. Save that. Apparently Emuflight works perfectly with everything dead stock, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Receiver, although that's pretty cool. There's a preset drop down. That's neat. 1 inch / 2 inch 0802. I mean, if they're going to put the goddamn presets in here, I'm going to use them. 0802, 19,000. 0802, 16, 18, 20. Let's use this one. Let's try that one. Aber, yeah, I know, man, right? That's what everybody says. Receiver! We got to go to TAER. Stick low of 1,000. Stick high of 2,000. Again, just trying to get everything matched up within reason. Modes. AUX 1 for ARM. I'm going to put beeper on just in case I lose it. Air mode on AUX 2 in both of those positions, and I think that's all I actually need to fly. I'll put flip over after crash so I can be lazy. Paralyzed VTX pit mode, camera control, FPV angle mix, black box, telemetry, OSD disable, head adjust, failsafe, head free horizon. Might as well fucking finish this and just set it up properly. Alright, now we're good. And I think that's all I really need to do. Let's go to the motors tab and just make sure that it spins them up. And cool. And they do feel like they're all making thrust in the downward direction, which is good. Alright, cool. OSD I don't care about at the moment. Alright, let's see how it be. I got a PP. I'm gonna put that big battery back on it, and let's see what happens. Are there any Emu specialists in the chat that have any opinions on these presets? Should I not be using the presets? Do you guys have good luck with the presets? What's the deal there? That's a brave feature. I've never really been all about the preset thing. Where the hell? There it is. But you know.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Yeah, I don't know, B-Man. Everybody's talking about it.
It's 8 o'clock.
God damn it. I don't have to rebind, do I? Is that how AIOs work? If so, that's fucking annoying. I wouldn't think that's how AIOs work. But what the hell do I know? And I mean, it's not connecting. Okay. We got nothing. Configuration. FreeSky X. Which is D16. This is D8. Okay, that's the problem. I gotta go to FrSky D. Save and reboot. Donlad says, bot says he uses the presets. Ah. See, he didn't say that. He said he runs it totally stock. Bot is a liar, confirmed. Bot's not a liar. And if you think he's a liar, you're the fucking liar. Oh, man, come on. Do I really have to rebind this fucking thing? That's mildly annoying. Anything? Nothing? No. Okay. Can you bind from within Betaflight? I hope. Or Emuflight? Bind _RX. Bind. Hey! Okay, so they should now be bound. Let's save, reset, reconnect. Oh, he runs stock. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, wow, okay, yeah, so you do have to rebind. aux1, aux2, aux3. Good to go. Cool. Learn something every single day.
Telemetry lost.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I did know that. I feel like I've you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't looked through the goggles, I don't think, with this rig to see how the FPV feed is through this RunCam Split 3 Lite. Come on, you ass bag. Get in there. Get in. Get in there. There we go. Oh, he got in there. I got him in there. Go all the way forward. There we go. Okay. Here we go. The other way that I know this rig is having an issue is by power output and the lack thereof compared to the one that runs properly. I want to give you guys that view. Let's see. All right. Let's get a little hover going. Can you hear it? Can you hear when it changes pitch, guys? So it's you can see it, right? Like you can see it still doing it. Look at that. Jesus, come back, little friend. Yeah, you see that? See that? Like when I get the throttle just right, it'll just like do that, or the last thing it did, it just went like that. That's it, like getting out of. That's it moving in and out of this exponential thing that I'm talking about with the vibrations. So let's try the other preset, and then we'll try dead stock and see how that is. So that was like, I want to say that was maybe a little bit better, but I don't need a little bit better. I need a lot, right? This thing is fucked right now. Like it needs a miracle practically. So wait a second. Is the preset supposed to like stay? Did it like come off of that preset maybe? Let me see what happens when I... Alright, so I've saved it. I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to reconnect. And I'm going to see what that drop down is at. Okay, no, it just drops the settings in and then you save those settings. Okay, so let's try this one. Oh, man, these... Well, let me actually look at what these settings are doing. Oh, yeah. So I use the much softer one. So I'm gonna go down to default. Because this other preset's gonna be worse. It's a more aggressive preset that's gonna react poorly to these vibrations. So let's go default with low D-term low pass filters, because that's more filtering. All right.
Telemetry recovered.
And so this is stone stock Emuflight that I'm so staggered as to how many people have said is just God's gift to flight software. Let's see if it's God's gift to this specific Tiny Whoop build. I'm gonna spoil the surprise for you guys. Not gonna.
Telemetry recovered.
But I fucking hope it does. I would love for this to be the end. I would love for this Tiny Whoop to fly properly. All right, let's see. Hear it? There it goes again. There it is again. No better. Let me fly the rig. I have not. I've not really flown this rig. Actually, I don't think I've flown this at all. Come to think of it, I've just been doing these hover tests. So, let's see what it's like to actually fly the damn thing. Because you never know. I mean, you kind of do, but. The problem, Tiago says, check the filter settings to see how they are. The problem, Tiago, is that like everything is so different in Emuflight. Like when I look at the filters, it's like looking at fucking Latin. I don't. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't have any frame of reference for the. You know what I'm saying. For the filtering. All right, we're getting the monitor set here. I need to push this button a million times. I don't even know if this damn thing is outputting video. Oh, fuckers. Gotta go around the horn. I think 36 is the right channel, didn't we? Nope. I guess not. Let's try 37. Nope. That ain't the one. Is it on? No, it's not on the right thing. It's got to be on A, I think. Well, shit. Maybe not. Quad's still on, right? Yeah. 38 maybe? No. 39. Is there a 39? Oh, there is a 39. That's not the one, though. Unless it's on B. That's not on B. Well, I'm pretty sure there is no 40. Nope, that goes down to 0. Fuck! Come on, man, really? How is it not on 38? It's always been on 38, right? I bet you the VTX is not on race 8. Nope, it's not. God damn it. Okay. Oh. I got no video. VTX, no output, anything. Oh, that's not true. It's on A7. And it's getting hot. Sorry, little fella. VTX Smart Audio. I need to go up to race band 8. Set. Confirm. Oh my god, I didn't have to do a VTX table. I will admit, that was kind of nice. God damn you. And
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered. Telemetry
it's on all right.
Telemetry recovered.
All right, I just want to get the propeller spinning so that it doesn't fucking melt. Oh! How does this fucking screen work? Why am I so dumb? 35? Oh. What happened? Oh, that's the power button, you dumbass. The name's Dumas. 37 is not it. 38 is not it. Fucker! Oh my god, I can't believe I just did it again. $36. Is it 36? No, it's not 36. A and B. Okay, no, that's not it. 37. B and A. Nope. 38. A and B. What the fuck? 39. Well, what? Oh god, the video is terrible. What the fuck is happening here? Oh man, this VTX is brutal. Oh wow. I can't fly it like this. Oh my god, this is horrible. Oh my god, the latency is fucking ridiculous. And the VTX output is like useless. Is pit mode on maybe or something like that? Hold on. Wow, this is brutal. Smart audio. 25 milliwatts. No, it's fine. Free. That's good. Back. I mean, I can bump it up to 200 milliwatts, but well, that did help quite a bit. That's weird. I can usually fly around inside on 25. Huh. Wow. So the this camera looks amazing. Yeah. So it's having a really hard time. The battery's going to be boiling hot. Yep. Yeah. So, not really any kind of a cure for a rig that has some issues. The field of view is shit though. The field of view is really hard to fly, if I'm completely honest with you guys. But other than that, the camera looks shockingly decent. Let's take a fully charged smaller battery and see if the cables will reach. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Wow, there was some serious latency there too, which makes sense. The latency makes a lot of sense. That is the reason why and I've said this a million times. I'm sorry if you've heard me say this 80 times by now, but the reason that so many people, I'm pretty convinced that the reason that so many people are having such a good experience with Emuflight is a lot of people don't build properly, or spec out parts, or replace things after they smash the shit out of them, like motors. And when you have a rig that's vibrating like it's having a fucking seizure, you need all the filtering that you can get. And Emuflight defaults are more filtered than Betaflight's current defaults. It's the same reason that so many people say that they have better luck with Betaflight 3.5.7 over 4.0, 4.1, 4.2. So yeah, if your rig is whooped, then yeah, you need more filtering. You can add more filtering in Betaflight, or you can go to a whole different piece of flight software. It's up to you. I'll just add the filtering in Betaflight. Although let's try let's get the second rig onto Emuflight before we cast any. Maybe it's just this rig. The VTX on this. Oh God, land now. Really? Oh my God. Oh my God, what the hell is happening with the fucking VTX? Also, what is happening with this on fucking yaw? The PID tune is really soft. Wow, I cannot believe the latency. I have always kind of said that the whole filtering latency is bullshit, and that it's not enough to be felt. But oh my God, I can fucking feel it right now. I mean, it is flying, although it was flying on Betaflight. Yeah, I mean, we're flying. Oh, shit. I hope that wasn't something expensive. The latency could also be coming from the fact that it's a, the fact that it's an HD cam. So, yeah, there's definitely that. Oh, shit. This battery is a balloon. So, yeah. Emuflight has done nothing for the vibration issues. Oh, yeah, that battery is completely ruined. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, so on this rig, it didn't make anything better. So let's give it another chance. Let's give it another rig. Yeah, Don, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking pit mode as well, but it's definitely not that, because I checked it.
Telemetry recovered.
I'll be interested to put it back onto Betaflight with the VTX tables and see if anything gets better. Here, just to show you guys what I'm doing. Smart audio. Yeah, the only way it would be in pit mode is if this OP model was on race rather than free, and you'll see when it clicks into race. Well, that's weird. Usually when you click it into race, the video goes away because it goes into pit mode.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
Well, there it is. Fuck. Fuck. Alright, well, now it's stuck. But, hold on. Oh, this battery's completely shot. Tell you what, man, all this Tiny Whoop testing has been murder on my fucking Tiny Whoop batteries. Jeez. They have really taken a beating.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Yeah, alright, so it's on 25 milliwatts. I thought we wanted it on free, right? We want it on free. We don't want it on race. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, I gotta be honest. This is the Happy Model X board, the new one. It
Telemetry lost.
has some other issues with it that I'm not really digging at the moment.
Telemetry lost.
I don't think that they moved one of the motor plugs over, and it hits on every single frame other than their own. And I don't want to run their frame. Their frame is not good, in my opinion. So it kind of makes the and now the fact that the VTX seems to be working so shitty is kind of like, well, that made that decision easy to bail on that AIO. Okay, let's put another rig onto Emu and see if it's a miracle. No miracles yet, though. Go figure. Go figure. The flight software that's based off of Betaflight didn't magically melt the polar ice caps. Hold on. Let's plug into this one and look at where it's at first and foremost.
Telemetry recovered.
Okay. Or, no. Let's put this rig back onto Betaflight. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put this, yeah. So that everything is fresh in our brains.
Telemetry recovered.
And yeah. That's the way to do this. So Betaflight configurator, update firmware. It was Crazy B F4R. Oh, it's still there. Cool. 4.2.5, full chip erase, load firmware online, flash firmware.
Telemetry lost.
See, look how nice that is. I didn't have to go into the CLI. I just clicked the button. And here we go. The chat is blowing up, and I've been just completely ignoring it. Greg Womack says, picked up the Beta 1S brushed. Shut up after discounts. It was $25. Would Emuflight even work on it? Yeah, I mean, Emuflight is just Betaflight that's been massaged. So well, I guess I can't say that. As long as the Emuflight devs have whatever that target is, that board is, then yes, Emuflight will work. That was one of the other things that happened with Betaflight, is like they grabbed a version of Betaflight that didn't have certain targets in it, and then they didn't add those targets, so there were a bunch of boards that you just couldn't use Betaflight on. I don't know if that's the same situation with Emuflight, but it is hard. I will say it's very difficult to. I mean, ask Apple and Microsoft, right? Apple has always locked down their hardware so that their software works better, because they don't have to make their software work on 8,000 different configurations of hardware. So yeah, Betaflight is taking the Microsoft route and making it work with everything. In that example. All right, we're going to go to Smart Audio on UART2. And let's just get this out of the way. We're going to load from file. That. Low power disarm, which I love. And I might as well, I don't have to drop these in, but it just makes my life easier. And 25, and save. All things considered, the last 10 seconds weren't that bad, right? Like, I know VTX tables are kind of a pain in the ass, but like, that was 10 seconds of my life and it's over. Not really, I don't know. Not really a reason to like not use Betaflight, right? And the fact that you can turn on low power until ARM, to be really honest, is what makes VTX tables well fucking worth it. The low power until first ARM thing is a big deal. Like, that's a real fucking feature. FR Sky D, right? I think I had to change it to last time. I hope. Air mode not on all the time. Dynamic filter, telemetry on. Kick these twos on. What's up, Hug and FPV? Don Ladd says, sounds like a plan, then it's fresh. Oh my god. So much orange in the chat. Frank says, you need one of these for your bench. Powered, charged by micro USB, has an internal 18650 USB quads on the bench. Cool. Oh, I'm assuming it's a fan. That would be nice to have a fan. Has it got too hot? Nope, it cooled down once I had it idling. Looks like pit mode. We talked about that. Don't leave your battery on your desk unless you have good insurance. The little batteries, they don't shoot fire. They just shoot smoke, which is really, really nice. Dustin says, just curious, is there a way to tweak settings on the eSheen E010 board? I don't even know what the eSheen 010 is. What is that? Is that a goggle? Oh, it's that thing. Oh god, I don't know a fucking thing about those. But if you type Ishin010 into the YouTube search, there'll be like 7 million videos about it. Nothing but info on that board here on the internet. So I turned RPM filtering on. Let me just go in here and set my rates. And okay. These are the other cool thing about the actual rates is they make the center of the stick nice and soft, so I can. This is identical to my 5-inch rates. So on Betaflight 4.2, my tiny whoops actually have the same rate profile as everything else, which is really nice. Come in. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Come on.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, you're streaming. I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
It's her fault.
My fault.
Okay, so we got that in there. We got rates in there. Let's save this. And let's check out the filter settings. I'm going to leave them alone. RPM filtering is on. Dynamic notch filtering is dead stock. And I really want to add some P and D gain, but I will not do that. Oh, fuck me. I'm going to have to rebind it. God damn you. Okay. Rebinding on D8. And we're going to go in here. Bind _ RX. Binding, move the transmitter away, and we should be good by now. Let's check it.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
La, chomp. Hey, that's a good sign. Aux 1, aux 2, aux 3. Fan-fucking-tastic. Stick low, 1,000. Stick high, 2,000. 2 deadband, and save. EEDoc says, if you save your SPI offsets, then you can bind without doing the binding process. Nice. Arm, aux 1, all the way down. Horizon, aux 2, all the way up. We've got a little bit of beeper on 3, all the way down. Flip over after crash. On 3 in the middle. And that's... Or no, wait. Air mode. Right. Air mode 2. There. Okay, cool. And motors tab. Let's make sure that they spin. Oh, they spinning. And that should fly. Let's find out. Let's see how it flies. No, I don't want to use that battery. Hold on, I gotta find a battery that's not on fire. Although it's about to be on fire. 416. That'll do. Get in there, you. The little battery holding setup on these Redshifter's frames is like, it's really good, but when the little TPU piece is fresh, it's really tight. It works itself in and it loosens up beautifully, but initially it's tight like a tiger. Okay, same battery, same everything, different flight software.
Telemetry recovered.
Okay. A little bit of this. A little bit of that. Go up to 38, I think it was. Although I'm probably going to have to... Oh, wait, no. I set the... if I got the VTX table right, we should be good. Although, it looks like there's no video on that monitor, so I don't think we are good. Oh, my God. No, the VTX on here is just dog shit. Wow. That is awful. Oh, boy. Something's going on. Oh, look at that. It's calibrating the accelerometer. Oh, that was cool. Come on, man. BTX, what the fuck are you doing?
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
Man. Yeah, the VTX on this thing is brutal. Did this thing pick up the fucking feed yet? Nope. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what it looks like for me. Yeah, the VTX in this thing is awful.
Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that huge rotation when I jam the throttle, but it does have some little smaller wobbles, which it didn't have before. No real improvement. I mean, it's still giving me a low battery warning. This battery is still going to be on fucking fire when I get it back.
Timer 1.
So yeah, I mean, oh my God, yeah, it's not, it's no different. Okay, it's yeah. If the mechanical system
Telemetry lost.
ain't working, you're not gonna have a good. You're not gonna get something that flies properly. I don't know how many times I have to prove that to myself. I've proven it to myself many times now. Yeah, frames need to be. There's a lot more than to frame design, to good frame design, than meets the eye. There are lots of resonant frequencies. There are lots of just things that can make frames fly really poorly. And with tiny whoops, especially with brushless tiny whoops, we're on like version 0.0001 of a lot of this stuff. So yeah, this is gonna happen. Like, we have to sort of expect this. This battery bounced all the way back up to 3.9. It's not that hot. Yeah. A little warm. It's not boiling like that other one from when it was on Emuflight. In fairness, I flew that a lot longer. Yeah. I mean, I know I said I was going to try this other rig, but it's not going to make a difference. The Emuflight being some fucking magical, and the same with Betaflight, and the same with all this flight software. There's not there's just not a magical thing. The flight software is flight software. Everybody, all the guys doing the work on it, of course, they're gonna tout their specific feature set as being God's gift to everything, and yeah. 661. That's what I showed you in the thing a minute ago. The race and the free. That's what I showed you guys. That's what I was showing you. You want that to be on free, and that's what I checked in there, and it didn't make any difference. Yeah, flight software is not this magical mystery thing. It's fucking filters, and it's a goddamn PID loop. Switching to Emuflight is not going to magically fix issues. If it fixes something, it fixed it because the stock settings in Emuflight have a lot more filtering than the stock settings in Betaflight. The problem with that is the latency. I'm still stunned at how much more latency I could feel on that rig with Emuflight over Betaflight. In fairness, I had it on the most sophisticated current version of Betaflight with RPM filtering and with, well, I guess they both had 48 kilohertz. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm not gonna put this other rig onto Emuflight. There's no reason to. It's actually I just realized it's the exact same AIO. Yeah, it needs to go into a different frame. There must be, well, so that's going to be the next troubleshoot. It's been 2 hours and, oh no, Kristen has food. Yeah, so we're definitely not doing that today. So next week, what we'll do, actually on tomorrow's 12-hour stream, what we'll do is we'll take these out of the R3D shifters frames and we will put them into Newbie Drone cockroach frames. And I bet you that the problems go away. I bet you that this specific problem goes away. My hunch is that there's just something going on with these R3D shifters frames. There's some resonance, there's something going on that's what's causing the problem that I'm having. Newbie Drone probably did. Okay, so let's say Newbie Drone did 100 hours of R&D. I'm just picking a number, right? Let's say they did 100 hours of R&D. They're a good sized company, and then sent it out to prototype testers to have another 50 hours of R&D done, right? Let's just for the sake of argument, just have those numbers in your head. R3D Shifters is a much smaller company, so my guess would be if we're going with those same numbers, maybe they put in 20 hours, right? I'm just trying to make like a comparison, right? They're a much smaller company, much less of a past. Newbie Drone has had cockroach frames since the brush days. So, and then a lot of the R&D, like I've done a bunch of the actual R&D on these frames. That's why we have this incredibly stiff V2 here is based on feedback that I gave those guys, which is amazing. And it's so good that they're listening to feedback and making changes. But it looks like it's just not quite there yet. But we'll know when we put it into the cockroach frame. Tiago Ramos with 42 Brazilian real. He says, naked with a GoPro fund. Let's get that shit updated. Oh, man. What's the conversion, Tiago? I used to know it. I expected the number to come into my brain, and it didn't. 42 real in USD.
Should we ask the chat if I look like Skrillex?
Yeah. Chat, does Kristen look like Skrillex? She fucking wakes me up this morning, mashing her head in my face, going, look, do I look like Skrillex? I was like, I don't fucking know, go away.
I got chocolate chip cookies.
Oh. All right, 38. We're up to 38. Look at that. Thank you, Tiago. You are the man. Did I, hold on. I gotta make sure I didn't miss. Can you memorize USD conversions? They only change like every day. Did I miss any? I hope I didn't miss any super chats. I really try hard not to. I did not. Okay, good. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat. And we covered a lot of ground here today. So I will see you guys tomorrow at either 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for a 12 goddamn hour stream. We're going to play with these. We're going to reframe these. Somebody asked if it's the Dan Richmond is it the frame or the flight controller? I don't know. We have to systematically one by one tick things off to answer that question. My hunch is that it's the frame, because there's two of these. Yes, it's the same AIO, but it's just an MPU 6000, and Happy Model has a million modulas flying around that work totally fine. So yeah, chances are it's the frame, which is crazy because these frames are plenty stiff. We'll find out tomorrow. I'll schedule the stream in a little bit. I got to make the thumbnail, so that's when you guys will know if it's going to be at 4 or 6. I think I'm going to try to do 4. Because 6 to 6, I don't necessarily want to be streaming until 6 a.m. Streaming until 4 a.m. is totally fine. But, yeah, streaming until 6 a.m. Kristen's going to be on the other side of the wall trying to sleep here. So, yeah, keeping her up until 4 a.m. with me screaming and yelling is a lot nicer than 6. So, I'll see you fuckers tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I certainly did. I'm going to go eat. Goodbye! Here's something to watch while I don't know. Oh, look at this. Here's the Gemfan 4-inch tri-blades on 2004s. Look how good this flies. And this is footage from the RunCam Hybrid. So here you go with a little bit of this. I'm going to leave the horrible audio so that you can hear what is happening. See you guys tomorrow!
Woo!